In the late 1990s, something extraordinary was happening in the world of motorcycling. A silent war was being waged, not on the racetrack, but in the engineering labs of Japan's biggest manufacturers. The prize? The title of the world's fastest production motorcycle. This wasn't just about bragging rights. It was an arms race of horsepower and aerodynamics, pushing the boundaries of what was thought possible on two wheels. But as speeds climbed higher and higher, a shadow loomed over the industry. The race was getting too fast, too dangerous, and it was attracting the wrong kind of attention. Governments around the world, particularly in Europe, were beginning to take notice, and the threat of strict regulations, or even outright bans on high-performance bikes, became terrifyingly real. This is the story of how a single motorcycle, a machine so powerful it shook the entire industry, forced a secret truce. It's the story of the Gentleman's Agreement, a clandestine pact between rivals to put an end to the superbike speed wars. Our story begins in 1990 with Kawasaki. They fired the first major shot in this escalating conflict with the Ninja ZX-11. It was a marvel of engineering, a sport touring bike that could shatter the 176 miles per hour, or 283 kilometers per hour, barrier. For years, the ZX-11 reigned supreme. It was the undisputed king of speed, a benchmark that every other manufacturer aimed to beat. But in the world of high-performance motorcycles, no king rules forever. In 1996, Honda answered the challenge. They unveiled the CBR 1100XX Super Blackbird, a motorcycle named after the legendary Lockheed State Route 71 Blackbird spy plane. The name was fitting, as the bike was designed with one primary objective: to dethrone the ZX-11. And it did. The Super Blackbird was sleeker, more powerful, and crucially, faster. It nudged the top speed record up to about 180 miles per hour, or 290 kilometers per hour, officially becoming the fastest production motorcycle on the planet. The battle lines were drawn. Kawasaki had been knocked off its perch, and Honda now wore the crown. For a moment, it seemed like a new equilibrium had been reached. But in Hamamatsu, Japan, Suzuki was quietly preparing a response that would change everything. They weren't just aiming to beat the Blackbird, they wanted to obliterate the record. They wanted to build a machine so undeniably fast that no one would dare challenge it. In 1999, Suzuki unleashed its creation upon the world, the GSX 1300R, more famously known as the Hayabusa. The name itself was a statement of intent. Hayabusa is the Japanese word for the peregrine falcon, a bird of prey famous for its incredible diving speed of over 200 miles per hour. The peregrine falcon's primary prey? The Blackbird. The message from Suzuki to Honda was crystal clear and delivered with a stunning lack of subtlety. The Hayabusa was unlike anything seen before. Its design was polarizing, a product of extensive wind tunnel testing that prioritized aerodynamic efficiency above all else. Its bulbous, flowing fairings were crafted not just for looks, but to slice through the air with minimal resistance. Beneath that unique bodywork lay a monstrous 1,299 cubic centimeters inline-4 engine, pumping out a level of power that was simply unheard of for a road-legal bike. When test riders finally got their hands on it, the results were staggering. The Hayabusa didn't just beat the Super Blackbird's record, it annihilated it. Published tests showed the bike hitting speeds well in excess of 190 miles per hour, with some claiming it could even touch the mythical 200 miles per hour, or 320 kilometers per hour, mark straight out of the crate. The world was in shock. A production motorcycle, available to anyone with a license and the money to buy it, was capable of speeds that were previously the exclusive domain of professional racers on closed circuits. This unprecedented leap in performance sent shockwaves through the industry and, more importantly, through government corridors. The media frenzy was immediate. Headlines screamed about 200 miles per hour superbikes and the potential for carnage on public roads. In Europe, regulators who were already concerned about motorcycle safety saw the Hayabusa as the final straw. The prospect of government-imposed speed limiters, crippling horsepower restrictions, or even outright bans on entire classes of motorcycles became an imminent threat. The industry was on the verge of a crisis. The manufacturers knew they had to act, and act fast. A future where bureaucrats dictated engineering decisions was a nightmare scenario for everyone. The freedom to innovate, the very essence of their competition, was at stake. This shared threat led to an unprecedented and secret meeting. representatives from the major Japanese and European manufacturers, including the fierce rivals Honda, Suzuki, and Kawasaki, came together away from the public eye. They knew that their public rivalry could no longer continue in this manner. The pursuit of top speed had become a liability. A truce was necessary for their collective survival. What emerged from these discussions was an informal but binding understanding, a gentleman's agreement. There would be no official document, no press release, just a quiet, mutual pact to end the top speed war. The manufacturers collectively agreed to voluntarily limit the top speed of their motorcycles. The figure they settled on was just under the 300 km/h threshold, specifically 299 km/h, or approximately 186 mph. This number was symbolic. It was fast, incredibly fast, but it stayed just below a psychological and politically sensitive barrier. It was a way of showing restraint, of self-regulating before governments could step in and impose their own, likely much harsher, rules. The first signs of this new agreement appeared in the year 2000. Kawasaki was due to release their new ZX-12R, a bike designed specifically to be the Hayabusa killer. Early reports and pre-production models suggested it had the power to surpass the Suzuki. Yet, when the final production model hit showrooms, its speedometer famously stopped indicating speed past 299 km/h. The engine control unit, or ECU, was programmed to restrict the bike's speed, preventing it from exceeding the new, unwritten limit. Shortly after, the 2001 model year Suzuki Hayabusa also received a similar electronic limiter. The king of speed had voluntarily capped its own performance. Honda's Super Blackbird and the rest of the high-performance pack soon followed suit. The speed war was officially over. From that point on, the battleground for superbikes shifted. Instead of chasing top speed, manufacturers began to focus on other areas of performance. The competition moved towards acceleration, handling, braking technology, and electronics. The goal was no longer to be the fastest in a straight line, but to build the quickest, most agile, and most technologically advanced machine for the road and the track. This gentleman's agreement has held for over 2 decades. Even today's hyperbikes, with engines producing well over 200 horsepower, still adhere to that 299 km/h limit. It stands as a unique moment in automotive history, where fierce competitors put aside their rivalry for the greater good of their industry. They recognized that with great power comes great responsibility. The agreement was a pragmatic solution to a growing problem, a self-imposed peace treaty that preserved their freedom to innovate while appeasing regulators. It ended an era of pure, unadulterated speed, but in doing so, it may have saved the superbike as we know it. If you enjoyed this look into a secret chapter of motorcycle history, please consider subscribing to my channel, Udiripo, for more stories from the world of engineering and beyond.